But I've got my book and we're ready to go. No, not at all. This morning, I actually just finished making breakfast for all the kids. I made these for all three of them. They're eggs, blueberry, and banana, and I popped them in the oven for a little bit. Asher liked them the most out of everybody. I was giving them little itty bitty pieces here and there. I'm actually gonna go put the boys down, right? It's 9:26. They're going down for their first nap in just a couple of minutes. It's chaos in here. Hi, good morning, Roo. Look at how blue his eyes look with this shirt. Okay. Usually while we're putting them down for a nap, what's up? Emma just stays out here and gets some alone time away from them to play. Good morning. Hey, you're matching. Hi. Whoa. Are you just the most beautiful boy in ever? Are you so beautiful?
Yes, you are. You're such a beautiful boy.
So today's video is going to be something that's a little bit different than normal because it's something that I have not talked about like specifically in a video. I've mentioned it here and there, but you guys sent me so many messages. I got seriously so many messages on Instagram asking for videos talking about budgeting ever since I showed my budget planner for this year, which is from the Budget Mom, by the way. I used her planner last year and I printed out the whole year last year. I started off just printing 6 months at a time this time because this was so big to carry around. I also added little tabs on mine so it was easier to find. I want to do that again this year. I liked that. This budgeting planner helped me get through 2020. I filled out every single month. I never fell behind. I always stayed up to date. I did notice that as the year went on, there were certain worksheets in here that I didn't need to use anymore or just didn't find because I'd memorized how to do it kind of in my head. But if you guys are looking for beginner budgeting, I highly recommend this. I don't really have a person that I follow word for word. I find inspiration for budgeting and how we do things from multiple different sources, and then I kind of pick and choose what I feel like works for our family because every family obviously is so different. How we make money is so different. The income levels between families are so different. You kind of have to choose things that appeal to you and make it your own, I think. But this planner specifically helped me get through 2020. Now the way I'm thinking I'm gonna film this video is I asked you guys on Instagram after I realized how many messages I was getting about budgeting is what do you want to know? Like I sent up a little question box and you guys submitted so many questions. I literally couldn't even go through them all. There was some that were multiple repeats and those are the ones I'm gonna go over because those seem like the most asked questions. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing with this. And I'm gonna just start getting through it as efficiently as possible. I don't know how long this video is gonna be because I tend to ramble when it comes to finances. But I've got my book and we're ready to go. Emma is outside playing with Justin, so let's begin. First question was, I would love to hear about what method you use, what budget, Excel, etc. And I kind of already answered that. I like using a paper and pen. I used to do my budgets all in Excel, and I like that because you can save it to your computer and you can always look back on it. And I'm gonna have to file this probably and save it, which is kind of a bummer because it is big. But I like doing pen and paper. I feel like it makes me more, I don't know, I have to be more accountable for it. And this planner is, like I said, it's from the Budget Mom. It's called the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. I like this because, as the name states, you budget per paycheck instead of like for the month. Well, I budget for the month because I get paid once a month. But if you have multiple paychecks a month, you budget each paycheck and where that money is going for each paycheck rather than all of it at the beginning of the month. The most asked question was the simple question of how to budget. I'm very lucky. I grew up with a mom who was a single mom, and she had to budget in order to help make it for my sister and I. She was the most amazing mom. She still is, but she taught me everything I know about money because she had to be so independent by herself and figure out how to provide for herself and her 2 kids that she had to figure it out. And she did an amazing job of it. And what she did really motivated me to really get on top of my finances because she was so good at it and she made such a difference for me and my sister that I really wanted to do the same. So for instance, when I got engaged to Justin, my mom and I sat down when we got engaged and she made up a mock budget for me, giving me an idea of, okay, this is probably how much you're gonna pay for internet. This is probably how much you're gonna pay for rent. This is probably how much you're gonna pay for A, B, C. She made a whole list for me and said, so this is how much money you and Justin will need in order to get by every month. So if it doesn't come naturally to you, it's gonna be harder, but it is possible and you will find so much, I feel like, financial freedom in learning how to budget. But basically, essentially what you need to do is you need to find out what your expenses are, your mortgage or your rent and your internet or your grocery bill, all the things that you have to pay each month, bills versus like food. And then you need to find out your extra expenses, kind of implement how much money you need to be bringing in each month in order to pay bills, and then the extras, and then the extras, and then you can kind of go from there. So that's one of the reasons I love the Budget Mom, because she lays it out in such a simple way. I've just written down the dates for all of the bills that are due for this month. I highlighted them in blue so that I can keep track of them. Part of the Budget Mom too is she uses cash for everything. So one of the things that I got in the questions was, you only use cash. I've known that as a longtime sub. How does that work with COVID? We actually stopped using cash in March when COVID hit because going to the bank was such a hassle. They were talking about how like exposure was on the cash or whatever it was. So Justin and I decided to stop using cash in March, and we've been doing everything online for the most part since then. We bank with Navy Federal, and the great thing about Navy Federal is you can have as many savings accounts as you want. So I think we have 7 savings accounts and 1 checking account, which is amazing. I know that sounds like a lot, but I have everything organized in our bank account. I have a bank account for our checking, like I said. I have a bank account for birthdays. So all the money that we save for birthdays goes into that. I have one for Christmas. I have one for insurance. I have one for our HOA payments. I have everything in there super organized, so I don't have a bunch of cash laying around. One, because of COVID, we didn't have that ability. People were saying not to use cash, etc. So see if your bank can do multiple bank accounts like that, multiple savings accounts. I think some charge a fee. I don't think ours does, especially if you have a certain balance in it. So check with your bank and open multiple savings accounts, I would say. In order to keep your money in one place, you don't have to have cash. The cash is great too. It's just with COVID, Justin and I decided to stop using it. I do most of the finances as far as budgeting and everything goes, and that's just simply because that's the way that we work. I'm a type A. I love having things done a specific way, and Justin is the most like, you can do whichever way you want as long as you keep me in the loop. So we have like talks about it obviously, but when it comes to physical, who's making the budget and everything, I do that because I enjoy it. It brings me happiness, and because Justin, this is just not his type of thing. He's totally on board with budgeting. It's just the actual physical part of writing everything down, paying the bills, that's something that I'm better at. Justin and I do have debt, but our debt is not on credit cards. We have 2 debts, I guess. One is our house. We're still paying our mortgage, and we have not paid off the house yet. The second is one of our cars. Every other car we've had, we've always paid upfront for in cash, but when we gave birth to the twins, we needed to figure things out quick. We didn't know which car we wanted. COVID hit, it was just, there was a lot going on. And so we didn't finish saving up the amount to buy our car in cash, so we are still paying for the Ford. I think it's a Ford, God. So we owe on that car as well as with our house. But even though I don't have credit card debt, the same type of thing typically applies with how to pay it off fast. We put all of our extra savings at the end of the month. Say we have an extra couple $100s at the end of the month that we didn't spend on bills or anything else. We throw that money at things that are like our house and our car. And we make sure we add it as an extra principal payment. That means that the money is going directly toward the cost of the item instead of the interest. Another tip is we always try and pay extra on something as a bill, even though that might not be what it costs. So our car's monthly bill is, I think it's like $208, but I pay $400 a month on our car bill because I want to pay it off sooner. And so to do that, we moved money around. We put a pause on one of our investments, and we put the extra money that we were investing into paying off our car. As far as building up the strength not to touch it, I don't use a credit card for a reason. It's because I have that same temptation to just easily whip out the credit card and be like, I'll pay it off later. For us, that just wasn't something that we were okay with doing because it is such a temptation to us. And so we decided to stop using credit cards years ago. I can't even remember the last time we started using a credit card, but I don't have anything against people who do. That's why I'm kind of saying I pick and choose things from each financial person that I hear tips from and what works for us. We really like Dave Ramsey, but I also am not completely against credit cards if they work for someone. For us, they don't work for us, but I'm not gonna hold it over someone's head if they use a credit card. There are people that use their credit cards really, really well. It was just with us, it was too much of like a temptation to throw things on the card. So if you're having a struggle with that as well, maybe try not taking your credit card with you when you're going out and about, because then that temptation isn't even there. My number one tip for that would be to add it to your Amazon cart or whatever. If you're buying online or you see something in store, save it for later. If in a week you still want it, then you probably really want to go back and get it. If you in a couple of days have completely forgotten about it, then it probably wasn't that important. That's just a little tip that I've noticed helps me. So I'll put stuff in my Amazon cart and then I'll be like, I can't buy this until next Sunday. And if next Sunday I'm still like, I really, really want this, then I'll try and find a way to make it work. So Justin and I have a certain amount that, yes, we do save every single month, but it varies every single month at the end of the month because it depends on how much we're able to save from other areas. I don't know if that makes sense. So say, for example, you want to save $100 every single month. You just put that as a bill on your expense list. And so you know you have to save $100 every month. But if you're able to find flexibility in your budget in other areas, say you budgeted $200 for groceries for the week and you spent $160, you have $40 extra. So instead of going out and spending $40 on something that's exciting, just add that to the amount you want to save every month, and then boom, you've saved $140 that month instead of $100. I hope that makes sense. I will say that this is harder when you're using your debit or credit card than it is with cash, because with cash, if you spend $160, you have $40 cash left over. It's easy to put that away and just save it physically. It's harder with a card because it's just sitting. It's sitting in your bank account. So make sure you make a note of it somewhere or transfer it to one of the savings accounts like I mentioned that we have. That way you know you can't touch it because it's in a savings account and you don't end up overspending or using your leftovers. Another thing is budgeting for unexpected things. So say your dog gets sick or you have an unexpected medical bill. We had lots of those this year. Justin and I have an emergency fund. This is one of those savings accounts that we actually don't keep with our bank. We have it set up at another bank that earns a better interest account so that you're actually gaining a little bit of interest by it just literally sitting in an account. This is money that we don't touch. It's meant for emergencies such as medical bills that we can't pay simply out of pocket for the month. If Bo were to get sick, we can pull from the emergency fund. If something were to happen where it was like, okay, we don't have money to pay for it this month, we can pull from our emergency fund and feel okay with it. We decided on a certain amount that we wanted to have in there, and it just sits there and it gains interest over the couple years. I think ours is with Capital One in a money market account. If you guys want to look into that, every bank has different interest amounts. You want to find the one that gets the best interest payments because then your money is making more money for you and it's not losing value. I would start with a small emergency fund and then add to it once most of your debts are like minimizing. So don't expect to save, $10,000 toward your savings funds and put your debt on the back burner. I would say put a small amount towards an emergency fund for now. It's kind of what Dave Ramsey says, and then work on your debt. And then as you start to pay off debt, put that money that you save back into an emergency fund so you can get a bigger emergency fund so that when those unexpected bills come in, because they always do, you have something that is like a nesting egg to save. I am a very organized type A person, as I mentioned. So in my email, because I do most of my ordering things online right now, in my email, I have like those labels on Gmail, like what I'm talking about. You can organize all of those. You can create new labels. I have one specifically for all of my receipts that I need things for YouTube or Instagram, and then I have one that's just, personal things that I've ordered online. And I keep all of those organized in my email. I'm one of those people that has zero email notifications because I check my email constantly. That's how on top of it I am. As far as physical receipts, I got one of those, what are they called? It's a file folder envelope. I think I got it in the Target dollar spot 2 years ago, and I labeled them all with my label maker, January, February, March, etc. through December. And every time I have a receipt and I get back in my car from shopping, I immediately stick it in there, fold it over, and I keep it in the car. Just makes it easier to keep track of receipts that way at the end of the year. If I'm looking for something, I can look through by the certain month, find it in there, and then I'm good to go. Going with that, along with that, is budget grocery tips. Now, if you guys do not follow Jordan Page, who is Fun, Cheaper, Free here on YouTube, go do it. I love her. I've learned so much from her as far as saving on groceries, especially because I find her to be more relatable because she's actually a large family, and I love her grocery tips. But the main thing for us was do a trial month and see how much you really spend when you go to the grocery store buying the things that you actually need, not all the extras, but like the things that you need to get you through the month. See how much you typically spend on groceries for the month and then budget that amount for the next. So you know, like, you're not gonna do an unrealistic thing. Don't be like, I'm gonna spend $200 this month on groceries. It's not gonna happen. Budget what is an actual reasonable number, and then the next month, if you underspend, then you can adjust your budget to fit what is actually what you're spending. You can cut back on things, obviously. There are ways to save money with grocerying. One thing for us is shelf cooking. Again, I learned that from Jordan Page. We try and get things from our pantry that have just been sitting there for a while and you're like, it doesn't sound good. Just do it. Just cook what's in your pantry. You save money. This is me and Justin's biggest money spender. We are terrible at going out to eat. And that's not even going out to eat. It's like DoorDash, especially because they upcharge, or there's tips or whatever, or, you know, fast food if we don't feel like cooking. That is our, like, we are not great at that. So that's one of my resolutions probably for this year, is to stop eating out so much. But for groceries in particular, there are tons of tips and tricks for you guys out there. Go check out Jordan Page on how to save money. We do most of our grocery shopping at 2 places. Winco, it's one of the local grocery stores that we have here where they're pretty affordable. And 2 is Costco, for things that we need to buy in bulk that necessarily end up saving us money rather than buying them week after week after week. Also, Walmart grocery pickup we use probably every couple of weeks. It's not something that we use all the time, but it's free, and Walmart is pretty affordable for groceries as well. I feel like this video is getting really long. I hope this is okay for you guys. We started Emma's when she was probably 6 months old, and we are in the process of setting the boys up right now. We'll probably do with the boys what we did with Emma, where we just back pay for the months that we didn't do it, because having babies is just time consuming. It's one of those last things on your mind type of things. So we do have accounts set up for Emma, and we contribute to those on a like monthly. They just come out of our account. I think on the 17th every month, that money comes out of our account. So we know that she's getting that money invested into her future. And we're planning on doing the same amount for the boys starting when they were born. So like I said, we'll back pay it from the 8 months old, and I'll just have all of that money come out of the same account. We have 529 accounts set up, or Emma's is a 529. The boys are starting to get their 529s set up. Highly recommend getting a financial advisor. If you guys don't kind of know the terms that I'm talking about, we got one when we were 19. We've been with the same person since we were 19. We found him through Dave Ramsey's website, where they have listed investors or financial advisors that they trust their program as well. Oh my God, I'm losing my voice. And he has been amazing, and his whole company has been amazing for us. They keep us in the loop on all of our finances. They give us tips and tricks as far as investing. Everything that kind of goes hand in hand with that. They are amazing. I highly recommend getting a financial advisor. That would be the same answer. I'd be 1, get with a financial advisor as soon as possible. Justin and I invest in 3 different ways, and we do a certain percent of our income. So there's not a dollar amount. It's just the percentage of our income we invest. So if we make a different amount of money one month versus another, we invest in Roth IRAs. So Justin and I each have a Roth IRA. We have a mutual fund that we no longer contribute to because it's growing. And so we put a big amount in it when we first got married, when we were 19 years old. And it's just been growing since then, but it's still an investment. And if we ever want to add to it to help it grow quicker, we can do that. We also have a couple individual stocks. We have, I think we have a Tesla share, a fractional share of Tesla. And we also have we just got a share of Airbnb. So not a lot of individual stocks. It's not one of those things that I recommend doing, especially if you're new to investing, because it's a bigger risk than a mutual fund is. Mutual funds are basically the same thing. It's just like a bunch of individual stocks in one big like pool of investors. Like, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but individual stocks are like Tesla and Airbnb, and then mutual funds, which we have, like I said, is like a pool of a million different companies and stocks. So it's not as big a risk of losing money, because someone's bound to grow, and if someone loses, the rest hold them up. I'm really not great at explaining that, but I know the difference. It's just kind of hard to explain. Definitely get with a financial advisor so that they can walk you through that and what that looks like. I love you. Love you. Let's go. those are the main questions I received. I would say overall, my main tips are to educate yourself. There are so many free videos here on YouTube that you can look up to learn about budgeting, to learn about investing. I will link all the people that I've talked about in the description box. So people that I find that are really great for finances, like the Budget Mom, or people who are really good for implementing just simple tips and tricks to saving money on a day-to-day basis, like Jordan Page or another financial advisor, Dave Ramsey. All of them have great tips. You have to pick the things that apply to you in the best way. I know that you guys are all trying to save money in 2021. We all are, because 2020 was such a hit, especially financially for so many people. And we want to be able to save money like this so that we're able to give back as much as we possibly can to people who need it. That's one of our goals for this year, was to use this space and Instagram, anywhere that we have a platform, to really give back to people who don't have, you know, the resources that we're able to get. So that's one of the things that we're doing this year. I'm actually about to go online and order a bunch of books from my Usborne book business to be able to donate to people in our community who need books, because I just want to be able to give back more this year, and that's why this is so important to me. So I hope that this kind of helped answer a lot of those questions. I literally just am doing the best that I can. I'm just doing things that I have learned myself through the couple of years that we've been married, 6 years. And so I hope that this helps, because I know it is a hard topic to kind of talk on, especially if it's something that's just something that's hard to talk about. Finances are hard to talk about. But if you guys have any more questions, please leave them in the comments, and I will do my best to go through them tonight and answer as many as I can. I know this is a different video than normal, but it's probably way longer than it should be. So I will talk to you guys again soon, and thank you so much. Here's to 2021.